Now, when we're talking about muscle hypertrophy, we're not replacing any nuclei. We are adding another nuclei to the muscle cell. In terms of
why would adding more of these odd-looking organelles to a muscle cell allow it to increase in size? Very briefly, the nucleus is the organelle inside of all of our cells that contains the DNA. And this DNA has all of the information to produce more proteins. The process of muscle building is when protein synthesis exceeds protein breakdown. Therefore, the more proteins we can synthesize, the greater our capacity to increase muscle size. Hypertrophic stimuli such as exercise training and eating protein increases the production of proteins within the nuclei, which can lead to an increase in muscle size. However, it does appear that each nuclei can only synthesize so many proteins, until it cannot synthesize enough proteins to continue to increase muscle size. Essentially, each nuclei has a finite capacity to produce more and more proteins to increase size. And once you have met this threshold, the only way to continue to increase muscle size is to add more of these nuclei to the muscle, which can work together to produce even more proteins, allowing for even greater muscular hypertrophy. Muscles are actually very unique, as they are one of the only tissues in the body that actually contains multiple nuclei. And this is due to their high requirement for protein synthesis, which requires a large number of this specific organelle to produce enough proteins to maintain muscle size and function. And as described in this video, this takes place. Satellite cells are essentially cells that surround the muscles, that can donate their nuclei to the muscle to increase the number of nuclei within that muscle, increasing its ability to produce more proteins, which can increase its hypertrophic potential, meaning the amount of muscle you could potentially build. If you haven't already, watched the initial video, as it is an extremely in-depth video. But the process by which nuclei are added to muscles, which allow muscles to produce more proteins and continue to increase their size, is in my opinion one of the most interesting things that occurs in human physiology.